Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Did you know in 2008, during the recession, Chicago made one of the worst deals in U.S. history? These unscrupulous business people, they cut a deal with the United Arab Emirates, specifically Abu Dhabi, to take over Chicago's parking meters. They struck a deal for $1.1 billion in exchange for 30,000 parking meters. At the time, it seemed like a great idea for Chicagoans who did not want to be levied with increased property taxes. The people of Chicago realized quickly that the deal Mayor Daley made was short-sighted at best, because the $200 million that the city makes from parking meter revenue each year doesn't go to the people of Chicago. It goes directly to Abu Dhabi. It gets worse. Anytime there's a parade, a marathon, or any city event where they have to close the streets down, the city has to pay the company that has the majority stake in the deal, well, and the other investors, all of the parking fees that they would have made had the streets not been closed. It gets worse. This ain't the first lopsided, short-sighted deal that Chicago has made. Now, it's worth mentioning that Chicago is not the only city to take to privatization as a means to generate income for the city so that they can pay bills. But they are amongst the worst of the cities that does this, that participates in this type of activity. The parking meter deal was not the only bad deal that Mayor Daley made. In 2005, Daley leased the Chicago Skyway for 99 years to Skyway Concession Company, LLC, for $1.83 billion. The deal marked the first time an existing toll road was privatized in the country. Chicago is so notorious for leasing out the city's revenue-generating assets that they don't even have anymore. In 2002, Mayor Daley also leased off the city's street furniture, the bus stop shelters. Yeah, gave it up to another company. And then in 2012, the city got $155 million from a company for the next 20 years to give up the advertisements, the billboards. Mayor, what's his name, Rahm Emanuel struck that deal. But the most notorious deal they ever struck, the worst deal that they ever struck for the people of Chicago, was that 2008 parking meter deal. The way the city of Chicago has sold out the people, has sold their revenue generating assets, it's akin to someone who might take something valuable to the pawn shop. Pawn shop is going to give you pennies on the dollar. You know you're not going to get the real value, the true value for what it's worth. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea because you're just trying to make it through the day. You're just trying to get over the hump. But then once you get over the hump, because you have not addressed what got you in that situation in the first place, the lack of being disciplined, with your money, properly budgeting, you find yourself right back in the same situation. And that's where Chicago is today. They're right back in the same situation, trying to figure out how to generate money. And so you know what they're going to do. They're just going to shake down the citizens. They're going to try to find some way to shake down the citizens, whether that be to profile people and pull them over and write tickets so they can generate income, or just creating laws out of nowhere. Just create a law out of nowhere and say you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. Pretty soon they're going to charge for you to walk down the street and breathe. Yeah, that's all they do. They just, create something. Something was supposed to be free. You know how our tax dollars already pay for us to ride these roads, right? To drive on these streets. Our tax dollars already pay for that. But then they came up with the idea, you know what? We're still going to charge them to ride on this particular street. You want to ride down this particular street? You want to get on this particular expressway? We're going to charge you when our tax dollars already pay for that. So that's all they're going to do, is they're going to find something that the people already use for free. It's a service that people already use for free, and they're going to start charging them for it. That's how they're going to come up with the money. I don't understand why they don't do what America usually just do. Renege on its promises, strike a deal and just back out of it. America is notorious for backing out of deals. I don't understand why they won't do it. Maybe it's because Morgan Stanley is part of the deal. Yeah, they're in on the deal too. So if it was just a foreign entity alone, perhaps they would just say, screw you. But because Morgan Stanley and some other people are involved in that deal that I don't know who they are, but they appear to have Chicago by the balls. Don't seem like they could just go in there and steamroll over those people, because if they could, they would. For anyone thinking this was remotely a good deal, consider this. The deal was a $1.1 billion 75-year deal. It was signed in 2008, which means the deal expires in 2083. That means they have 58 years more to go on the lease. Now, it's easy for the people who made the deal to make the deal when they know they're going to be dead and gone. Mayor Daley and every single public official who co-signed that deal should have been locked up, because they got paid. No more talk.